Yuriyan Retriever. I'm 34 years old, and I was on America's Got Talent, season 14.
Do you remember that sound? That brutal, soul-crushing buzzer from America's Got Talent? Imagine it ringing out as a younger Simon Cowell just shakes his head. That's exactly what happened to a comedian named Yuriyan Retriever back in season 14. We saw her on that stage, looking completely defeated, but then, we cut to today. AGT Season 20, 2025. The same woman, Yuriyan Retriever, walks confidently onto that exact same stage. This time, though, she has a look of fierce determination and a little bit of a mischievous glint in her eye. She was rejected. She went home and became a superstar. And now, she's back. On a stage like America's Got Talent, you don't really get a lot of second chances. The memory of failing there can stick with you. But once in a while, a performer shows up who is so unique, so completely themselves, that you just can't forget them. This is the story of a comedian who got buzzed off the AGT stage, flew back home to Japan, became a national icon, and then came back to the scene of the crime with an act so wonderfully weird, it left everyone asking, what on earth did we just watch? This is the story of Yuriyan Retriever and her absolutely bewildering return to AGT with The Hamster Show. Back in 2019, during season 14, Yuriyan's first attempt with a chaotic dance routine ended with a fast buzz from Simon Cowell. It seemed like a quick, brutal end to her American dream. But for Yuriyan, it wasn't the end. It was just the beginning of her research. Now, years later, she's back. As she walks out in 2025, you can see the judges trying to place her. Simon squints, and a slow smile of disbelief spreads across his face. He remembers, Yuriyan just beams and bows deeply. In her charming, slightly broken English, she lays out her journey. I was on America's Got Talent, season 14, she starts. I was disappointed. So I started to study AGT. The audience has a little chuckle at that. There's something so sincere about her that you can't help but be drawn in. She explains that through her very serious, scientific study of the show, she found a key pattern. I saw animal acts did very well on the show, she says, like a scientist presenting a breakthrough. The judges are nodding along, intrigued. She's right, animal acts are a staple. Her logic is sound. I hope Simon remembers me, she adds, and I'm so excited to show him how much I changed. The stage is set. The redemption story is ready to go. What mind-blowing, trained animal has she brought all the way from Japan? The world is waiting, with everyone leaning in. Yuriyan announces her comeback act. The Hamster Show, she proclaims, full of pride. You could feel the confusion in the room. Terry Crews, off in the wings, is mouthing, Hamster, to himself. Sofia Vergara's eyebrows practically tie themselves in a knot. Simon Cowell just stares, looking both baffled and maybe, just maybe, a little bit interested. The only one who seems to get it is Howie Mandel, who is already starting to laugh. Yuriyan, totally committed, goes to the side of the stage and brings back a small, fancy, and completely empty box. She places it on a stand with the kind of care you'd use for a priceless diamond. It's an hamster, she explains, as if that clears everything up. Like, air guitar. The audience just explodes in a mix of laughter and confused groans. This isn't just an animal act. It's an act with an imaginary animal. The sheer nerve is incredible. Yuriyan's deadpan seriousness is what sells it. She's not telling a joke, she's living in a world where an invisible hamster is a legitimate talent, and she's invited all of us to come along. She tells us her hamster is a master of acrobatics. She warms up, cracking her knuckles and stretching her neck, getting ready for the tough physical work of handling such a creature. The anticipation is no longer about seeing some talented animal, it's about seeing how far she is willing to take this ridiculous, amazing idea. And as we were all about to see, the answer was very, very far. The music kicks in, this big, dramatic circus fanfare. Yuriyan opens the empty box with a flourish and mimes reaching inside. Her hands move so precisely, cupping the invisible rodent, that you can almost feel the weight and wiggle of the little guy in her hands. She runs to a small platform, her hands carefully protecting her ghost pet. She climbs up, maybe 3 feet off the ground, and holds the air hamster up high. With a shout of encouragement, she mimes tossing it. Her eyes follow its imaginary path as it does flips and twists before she catches it in a spectacular dive just inches from the floor. When the camera shows the judges, Sophia is covering her mouth, half laughing and half horrified. Simon looks like his brain has just decided to take a short break. But Howie Mandel is absolutely losing it. He's doubled over, slapping the table, with tears of laughter streaming down his face. The audience is just a chaotic mix of hysterics and confusion. Next up was the Wheel of Death. She holds up an invisible hamster wheel and mimes placing the hamster inside. She starts spinning it, faster and faster. Her whole body gets into it. She spins around the stage, a whirlwind of motion, her face a mask of focus as she copies the hamster's frantic, imaginary workout. She stumbles and recovers, adding these little slapstick moments that are both clumsy and perfectly timed. It's a masterclass in physical comedy. She mimes loading the air hamster into an invisible cannon and lighting an invisible fuse, making the fizzing sound herself. She runs to the other side of the stage, arms open. With a final, self-produced boom, she leaps into the air and pretends to catch the hamster in her mouth. She puffs her cheeks out, showing us the hamster is safe inside. Before releasing it back into its box with a gentle pat, she hits a final, triumphant pose, sweating and out of breath. The performance is over. The theater is filled with a sound you rarely hear, a perfect split between stunned silence and roaring, out-of-control laughter. As Yuriyan takes a bow, the judges try to pull themselves together. Simon Cowell, the man who buzzed her years ago, is the first to speak. He looks at her with what seems like a new level of respect. "I just don't know what that was," he says, shaking his head. "There was nothing in the box, and there was nothing in your hand." He pauses, a little smile on his face, and admits it took incredible guts for her to come back after he rejected her so clearly before. Sofia Vergara is just as baffled, but she's charmed. "I think you are very cute," she says, "but I don't know if the act with the invisible thingy, hamster, that wasn't funny to me. But I do believe that you can be funny." It's a gentle letdown, but you can tell she respects the effort. Then, it's Howie Mandel's turn. He was her biggest fan from the second it started, and now he's her champion. He gets to his feet, applauding. "She's a brilliant comedian," he yells to the other judges. Everybody was laughing. "I think you're one of the funniest people I know." Coming from a comedy legend like Howie, that's everything. He's basically telling everyone that they're missing the point. The comedy wasn't the hamster, it was her fearless, absolute commitment to the hamster. Now, before we get to the final vote, you have to understand what happened in the years between her 2 AGT auditions. After getting eliminated in 2019, she didn't just go home to practice mime. She went home and became a phenomenon. In Japan, Yuriyan Retriever's career exploded. In 2021, she won the R1 Grand Prix, which is a massive competition that officially named her the best solo comedian in the entire country. This wasn't some small local award, this was a championship title, but she didn't stop there. She got into acting and landed the lead role in a huge Netflix Japan series called The Queen of Villains. She went through this incredible transformation to play the legendary 1980s pro wrestler Dump Matsumoto. The role demanded intense physical training and proved she had serious range as a dramatic actress. The show became a global hit, earning her worldwide recognition. So, the woman standing on the AGT stage in 2025 wasn't just some quirky comedian hoping for a break. She was an award-winning, celebrated artist. she had already won. Her return to AGT wasn't about getting validation, it was a victory lap, and that brings us back to the vote. Howie gives her a massive, enthusiastic yes. But with only 3 judges on the panel, she needs 2 yes to move on. The decision falls to Simon and Sophia. Sophia, sticking to her gut, gives a very respectful no. Simon, while admiring her courage, does the same. "It's going to be a no for me this time," he says, his tone much softer than it was years ago. "I can't. I didn't think the act was funny." And just like that, with a 2-1 vote, Yuriyan Retriever was eliminated in the audition round. Again, it's a shocking result, right? But it brings up a great question about what we think talent really is. So what did you think? Was the Hamster show an act of comedic brilliance, or was it just too strange for the AGT stage? Let us know what you think in the comments. And for more unforgettable auditions from AGT's landmark 20th season, you can watch new episodes on NBC or stream them on Peacock. And of course, don't forget to subscribe for more dives into the wildest moments in talent show history. Yuriyan Retriever left the AGT stage with the exact same result as her first try. But this time, everything felt different. She didn't leave looking like a failure. She left like a conquering hero who played the game completely by her own rules. She walked onto that stage with the confidence of someone who had already proven herself to the world. She didn't need to win America's Got Talent to know she was a star. Her story is this fantastic example that success is almost never a straight line. Sometimes, it means getting rejected, going away, mastering your craft, and coming back not to ask for a second chance, but to show them exactly what they missed out on the first time. She didn't get the $1 million prize, but she gave us a moment of TV so original and so joyfully weird that nobody who saw it will ever forget the day they learned about the magic of the Hamster show. And in entertainment, that's priceless.